Winter activities like hiking, snowshoeing, or skiing can be a ton of fun if you're prepared. But I see many people out there with little more than what they would bring in the summertime, which can not only be dangerous, it can be deadly. So today I want to share with you what I bring during winter activities for day trips in order to stay comfortable and, more importantly, safe. For my backpack, I use the Osprey Camber 30 pack. I've been using a variation of this pack for the last 12 years for skiing, snowshoeing, and hiking, and I love it. It has a lot of great features that make it the perfect backpack for winter conditions. One of my favorites is the fact that it has an insulated water bladder tube here, so you can have a hydration bladder inside the pack and then have an insulated tube going through this sleeve here on the shoulder strap. If you don't have something like this as well as foam around your tubing, then that water inside there is gonna freeze 100% of the time. The pockets on this pack are also great. You have two hip belt pockets. You have a top pocket here for little things that you need quick access to. You also have a helmet carry system on here, so if you're skiing or something like that, you can carry your helmet no problem. And then the main access is through this clamshell panel here, so you're not going in through the top, and you can open up the entire thing and grab whatever you need, even if it's buried in the bottom. You also have a ton of straps on the pack in order to do things like carry skis, snowshoes, whatever you need. But before we jump into what's inside the pack, let's go over what I carry on my person, because there's a lot of stuff that's pretty key for winter activities that I want to stay warm, so I keep them right on me. First of all, I have lip chap, SPF lip chap. In the wintertime, you have to be very careful with the sun, so I always have SPF lip chap with me. And then I carry water inside of my jacket. So I carry the water just in this pocket right in here. I always like jackets that have internal pockets with sleeves, so I can carry these platypus soft bottles in order to keep my water from freezing as I'm hiking and backpacking. Depending on what kind of trip I'm going on, I'll either carry a 1 liter version, which is what I have here, or a 500 milliliter version, depending on how much hydration I need over the course of the trip. In either one of my chest pockets or in my pant pocket, I'll keep my phone in order to keep it warm and keep the battery nice and charged. And then I also carry an SOS device on my person. The reason for that is because if it's inside of my pack and I'm doing something like skiing and I get caught in an avalanche, that pack can actually get ripped off of me by the force of the avalanche. So I want to be having everything that's crucial and important right on me. For day trips, it might seem like an SOS device is kind of overkill and not needed, but I think, especially in the wintertime, they're crucial and very important devices to have. What I love about this one that I have here, the Motorola Defy, is that it's very affordable as well as lightweight. So it's easy to just slide into a pocket, doesn't take up a ton of space, and they have plans that are going to accommodate pretty much anybody. The device is only $150, and then they have plans that cost $10 a month. But what I think is going to be the best plan for most people is their yearly plan with just a set number of messages that you can use over the course of that entire year. This is going to be great because you're going to have SOS capabilities on your device the entire time. And if you're doing day trips and stuff like that, then you don't need a ton of messages. And all you really want is that peace of mind by having SOS and being able to press that SOS button. I know I'm going to get a lot of questions about the clothing that I wear on hikes. If you're interested in that, I'll have links in the video description so you can go check it out. But let's jump into what I keep inside the pack. First of all, there's one big pocket right on top here where I keep things like my sunglasses in order to protect my eyes. I also have sunscreen in here. Like I said, sun protection is very important in the wintertime. I would also keep my crampons in here. So these are micro spikes in order to get some traction on ice and snow. And then I also have some over gloves in here. So these are over gloves from Decathlon. I've been loving these. They are fleece lined, waterproof, and are just big gloves that you can throw on if the wind picks up or your hands start getting cold. In the hip belt pockets, I'll also keep some stuff. On the one side, I have some snacks. It's important to have some snacks when you're hiking. You want to be staying fueled even in the wintertime. And then I also have electrolyte powder in here as well. Electrolytes are a key item in wintertime, and there's 3 reasons why. Number 1, the salt in the electrolyte mix is gonna help keep your water from freezing, which if it's really cold, could happen pretty quickly. Number 2, I find it difficult to drink enough water when it's really cold out, but having a tasty electrolyte mix really helps with that. Number 3, I sweat a lot in the wintertime, even if temperatures are down to like minus 20 degrees Celsius, so I need to be replenishing my electrolytes in order to not be cramping and getting dehydrated. My go-to electrolyte mix and a sponsor of today's video is Element. Element tastes great. They have a bunch of delicious flavors. It has the right mix of potassium, sodium, and magnesium in order to keep my body moving, and it comes in easy to use packets even if you have gloves on. You can get a free sample pack with purchase at drinkelement.com/JustinOutdoors or the link in the video description. I'd be using Element even if they weren't sponsoring this video, so take that for what it's worth. Let's dive inside the pack now. Like I said, there's a really nice clamshell opening, which is great in wintertime because you can just open the pack, fully up and then grab whatever you need. You don't have to be digging to the bottom in order to grab something that might be crucial for you when you're out on a trip. The Osprey Camber has this little pouch up here. This is where I'm going to keep little ditties like my car keys, as well as hand warmers. Hand warmers are nice to have during any trip in the wintertime because if your hands get cold, your feet get cold, even if your body gets cold, you can open up one of these, shake it up, and then put it next to wherever the cold spot is, and it's gonna warm you up really effectively. These days, we bring a lot of electronics out on our trips, and wintertime is known for killing electronics. So I always have a battery bank in order to charge my phone or my SOS device. So I just have this little Nightcore battery bank and then this little 3-in-1 cable, which allows me to charge anything with USB-C, micro USB, or Lightning. So even if I'm with somebody else who has an iPhone, which I don't have, then they're gonna be able to charge their device using this system. The rest of the gear in the main pouch falls into two main categories, installation and then emergency gear. Right at the top here, we have a toque. Like I said earlier, I sweat a lot, and having a toque is important if I am stopping for an extended period of time or I run into an emergency where I need to be staying warm. I can take off my sweaty hat and put on the toque. An item in a similar vein are a pair of extra socks. Keeping your feet warm is going to be crucial in order to be comfortable in the wintertime. An extra pair of socks is good if you sweat through your socks or they get wet for some reason. It's a big safety item if your feet get soaking wet. Like if you step in a creek, you want to be able to change out your socks. They also double as hand warmers. So if your hands start getting cold, you can put the socks on as little mitts. I also have a buff in here just in order to cover up my face. This is nice if the wind picks up or it just gets a lot colder than expected. You can throw this on, cover up your nose and your face and not get frostbite, which I've gotten. I've gotten frostbite on my cheeks and my nose when skiing, and it's not fun. The main piece of insulation on a winter trip is gonna be a down jacket. So I like having a big down parka. Down is going to be more compressible than synthetic insulation and it's going to be lighter weight. This is the MT900 from Decathlon. It's quite affordable and very warm. If you're just kind of sitting around, it's going to be good down to about -15, -20 in a pinch. So it gives you a lot of flexibility out there if you run into an emergency or if you just want to stop for a snack and stay warm. In the wintertime, the days are quite short, and if you're behind schedule or something slows you down, then it's important to have a headlamp with you in order to illuminate the path and get you back to safety quickly. This is the Black Diamond Deploy, 325 lumens, very lightweight, and just a great option to throw in your pack for a winter trip. Something that's not necessarily installation or an emergency item is a thermos. I always like bringing a thermos with me on trips in order to have some sort of hot drink, whether it's hot apple cider or some sort of hot chocolate. Interestingly, Element makes a chocolate flavored electrolyte supplement. I've been mixing that with hot water inside a thermos in order to make like a hot chocolate, but with electrolytes. So this is just a nice little treat to have if you're stopping for an extended break or just want something to warm up your insides. I also have an emergency bivvy. This is the SOL Escape Light. So it's gonna be more breathable than kind of some of their smaller, more compact, lightweight ones, which is gonna be crucial because if you start creating condensation and moisture inside the bivvy, then that's gonna cool you off really quickly. I also have a wag bag in here. So this is the bag that I poop in, comes with toilet paper, everything that you need in order to pack out the poop so that I'm not just pooping on snow and then having that poop run off into our streams and lakes once the snow melts in the springtime. I also keep a full repair kit inside my pack. This is very important, so let's dive into it, take a little bit of a closer look. First up, we have the Leatherman Skeletool. So this is a multi-tool with pliers and then a bunch of other tools on it. There's a reason I bring this one. First of all, it's lightweight, but it has wire cutters on it, which is gonna be important in a second here. And then also has bits on it in order to be able to fix skis, adjust din, things like that. Basically has everything that I need in order to fix, repair, or change up the different winter pieces of equipment that I'm bringing with me out on trips. Next up, I have zip ties with chicken wire wrapped around it. The wire is what I'd be cutting with the Skeletool and is a really good item for repairing things that you really need to lock down, like ski bindings or snowshoes. This is gonna hold a lot better than things like duct tape, especially in the wintertime. They also have zip ties, which are gonna do kind of lighter duty repair work, things like packs, stuff like that. I also keep a secondary light in here, just in case. This is just a little light that's not as bright as the headlamp that I brought, but if I forget a headlamp, then I at least know that I have this in my repair kit. And then I have a bunch of batteries in here as well as duct tape. The batteries are for my avalanche beacon in case I forget batteries or someone else forgets batteries or their batteries die. Losing battery on an avalanche beacon when you're out in avalanche country is super dangerous. Last but not least, I have my first aid kit. I have things like bandages, drugs in here, but more importantly, I have the ability to make fire. So I keep a lighter as well as some fire starter, and then combine that with the Leatherman Skeletool that I have. I can make fire in an emergency very easily. Go check out this video if you want to see some game-changing gear innovations, things that are making tents much more efficient, as well as a feature of this watch right here, the Garmin Instinct 2X, that I now can't live without.